Cars, no ATM, no cell phones or computers, and nuclear reactors would actually melt down, causing a catastrophe. This is what will happen if during what is known as an EMP attack. That is short for electromagnetic pulse. With us today is Tommy Waller with the Center for Security Policy. He's a vice president of special projects to explain why there's a new warning about this. Thank you so much for coming in. Welcome.
Sure, Liz, absolutely.
So we had this warning that came out from a U.S. Air Force study. Explain what a terror group or a country can send up into the air and the impact it would have on our lives after such an attack called EMP.
Sure. Well, EMP is short for electromagnetic pulse, and it's a phenomenon that we discovered in the 60s when America launched its first nuclear weapon in the exo-atmosphere. So 30 kilometers or higher, detonated, it produces a pulse that can really catastrophically harm small electronics and even large power transformers. And so the study that you mentioned from the Air Force, it relies upon a body of knowledge that's more than 50 years old. But it's a commitment now to really take action against this threat of electromagnetic pulse.
You don't really see it as you would see like big attacks as you would in, a traditional type war. So all of a sudden you're driving and everything just stops working.
This is the type of attack that we really consider a kill shot for our adversaries. Because of the effect it has on our technology. This is the first time in human history where it doesn't take an entire civilization to overtake another because of our dependency on technology and particularly electricity. So that electromagnetic pulse can be, any country or non-state actor for that matter that has a nuclear weapon and a delivery system to get it to 30 kilometers or higher, which could even be a weather balloon.
And you wake up and basically what's the world like?
It's a lot different. And so that's really where we're looking at the effects of electromagnetic pulse on critical infrastructure. What are the steps that need to be taken to defend it? And the thing is, we know how to defend it.
So what should people be telling their congressional leaders to do so that they're not left in the dark with no electricity after a potential attack? Because they're concerned that China, Russia, Iran, North Korea are the ones that are working on something like this.
Sure. All the adversaries that you listed out have this as part of their warfighting doctrine. They train to this. In fact, some of them have rehearsed it. Thankfully, our Congress put together the Congressional EMP Commission, which studied this phenomenon very, very deeply and has a number of reports. I would really ask our congressmen to join the Congressional EMP Caucus. It's a growing body of congressional leaders that are working to try to address this.
But if you're living in Louisiana, what can you do to put pressure on them? Because you've been asking this for a while.
Right, absolutely, we have. And it's just like the Fox 8 Local First, right? So we're blessed in Louisiana. There's something called the Louisiana Grid Coalition. And it's a growing professional body of people who are working this problem. So LouisianaGridCoalition.org is their website. Education is first. You can learn a lot about this at securethegrid.com. And it's something that makes you sort of think about wanting to run to the frontier.
So basically, if you can contact your congressional leaders, is it working on the grid? Like, what should they be putting pressure on to do?
So, you know how we prepare for hurricanes? We do the same thing, but for a longer duration. But what we want to do, instead of having the attitude of running to the frontier, like the founders of our country had an infinite frontier to run to escape tyranny. This tyranny of inaction is what we need to turn and face like our founders did. And you can do that by getting involved, taking action, joining the Louisiana Grid Coalition. Go to securethegrid.com.